Welcome to Flat Earth Physics. I'm just going to go over the Flat Earth Physics, explaining it in known physics, because what we get is all these globe theorists, BS artists trying to make out that flat earthers ignore physics, basic physics. But the whole flat earth design is based on known physics, but they don't want to show you the connection, so they spend all their days trying to explain how we don't connect it with known physics. So I'm going to run over it for you. So I've taken some screenshots here, but I'll read it out. But first we'll go over, explain how this flat earth works. If you haven't been here before, if you haven't, you're a lost soul. You should have been here years ago. But welcome to those who are just waking up. So there's the cross section of the flat earth. It's dual. There's one, the northern hemisphere. There's a gap between the northern hemisphere, which is there. There's the celestial gap, tropical gap. Okay, tropics. Then we have the southern hemisphere. It's dual. It's actually a trinity. This part in here is the magic part. It's all about, it's all the hidden physics in the Bible is all about this area here. Celestially, astrophysics. So if you take a slice through there, you come up with this model here, right? So we've got the tropics, which go all the way around. Okay? So what's happening here is all the magnetic field of Earth, because it's all about a magnet, a ring magnet. The magnetic field of Earth comes out of the south, comes up here, drops straight down here along the ground, and then back up here, over there, straight down to the ground, and then over here to there. And it's all about electrons. They call them electrons. So you can say the magnetic field is electrons. So they come up to these points here on both sides, and due to what's going on between the tropics here and the dielectric, the capacitance or electromagnetic induction, the field up here at their equal strength there finds a balance, a pairing, where they will come in and pair and bang, bingo, and that's where the sun's created in our understanding of this realm. But it goes deeper than that, because our realm is imitating creation, which is hidden back here. The real sun is back here. So we're going to get into that. So what's happening is the magnetic field's in the wind, and we know the wind, swings around like this towards the tropical boundaries, that meteorology. So it's in the wind, and what happens if they find pairing here, but the others reduce in strength and come down into their lower state. Sometimes they call it die, but they don't really die. No energy really dies. They come down into a lower state because there's a lower state field across the earth. And they will find pairing down here, which takes them across the tropics, takes them across this dielectric zone here, because they can't do it in here. These are two south poles. Okay, there's the north, and there's the North Arctic. You're told Antarctic's the South Pole, but no, it's a dual field. You have a north here and a south there, a north there and a south there. So the two souths can never meet right in magnetism. So the magnetic field wants to get over here to find equilibrium, because we have a potential difference between here and there, like between here and there. Which one do you think is stronger? This more condensed field or this wider, more dispersed? Obviously this is going to be weaker than that. Okay? So there's a potential difference here. And in nature everything wants to seek its equilibrium, its resting state. So this one is dying to get across to here. That's the Billy Goat Gruff story, if you've got a mind to think about it. Getting over the bridge to the greener land. So what's happening is all this action's going on in here between the two fields, capacitor plate, metaphysical capacitor plates, you could say. And what we know is there's high pressure out here, right? High pressure in the Arctics. High pressure. And at the tropics here is low pressure. There's low pressure. Another reason why this field wants to get over to here, because they're trying to seek equilibrium here. High seeking low. And so this, it's all about the water. It all boils down to the water molecule too, which is underground here, and it's flowing through the ground there. It builds up some energy, and it's seeking the lowest pressure state, which is in the tropics. So it comes up here and rises up here, believe it or not, rises up through here, the water molecule. That's why it's so moist in the tropics. And this is what drives the wind, the high and low pressures, convection. It's all this action going on in here. And what happens is this low pressure comes right up, and where the sun is here, the sun is attached to the Milky Way, and the Milky Way goes over to here. Okay? And in here is creation, where the vortex is. We have a gurgler down here, and we've got action going on here, pressure here. So basically, in our understanding, this is the high pressure, high pressure, and all the action down here, down the sides, and that's the core of the vortex through here, down the middle. So there's going to be low pressure. There's low pressure up the core. Well, this is the other half of the Milky Way. There's one half. There's the other half. But this is low pressure, and this is high pressure. So the low pressure and the high pressure hitting each other is what creates the vacuum, which creates plasma. It shreds the atmosphere. It does away with the air as the insulator, and boom, bingo. That's where you get the pure plasma. We don't see pure plasma. We can't get into this area anyway. That's creation. It's like going back into your mother's womb. We can't do that. There's creation, and we imitate that out here in an exploded view. So that core becomes this core here, but it's inverted. Oh no, it's still low pressure here. No, it's low pressure. No, well, it is inverted because it turns itself inside out to create our realm. It just exploded out like this. But then you've got to think it's just the northern hemisphere. Then you've got a gap, and then you've got the southern hemisphere, which is mirrored from the south. So there you have it, known physics. There's a physicist on YouTube, he's mentioned this. Oh, his experiment was, he gave the girl a funnel. They put the ping pong ball in here, and she blew like heck, and she couldn't blow the ball out. Because apparently there's low pressure all around here, but she had a lot of pressure coming through this gap here. So that low and high here stopped this ball from moving. It created the low pressure in here, which is the same sort of scenario as what's happening in here, the low pressure. Okay, I want to go find it. It's that thin guy with the grey hair out here. So this is what's happening with our flat earth design, and it's all self-generating, self-purification, because everything gets driven to the tropical zone here and gets washed up through here, through there, and fried at the plasma before it seeps back down as mist into the Arctic centre. That's your purified water. That's our pure water, and then runs along under the ground, way down deep. This is where we dig wells. There's a lot of all the fresh water's down here. If you contaminate that, we're probably stuffed. And that builds up kinetic energy and flows along here and comes up through here through the lower pressure zone. And that's the recycling system of Earth. Yeah, and if you want to understand more about this area in here, this tropical gap, look up magnetic mirrors. Magnetic mirror. And like I said, everything out south is a mirror of the north. So your slice of the pie back in here is projected out here. Look how much bigger it is in a star rotation. Those stars are what you have in here. It's a circular motion if you're doing star trade on the south, because this entire system is revolving. So this is revolving, but the stars aren't staying there, they're coming in from here. They're drifting in. They appear to be in here in turn, but they only do a certain degree, and then they move on out to this. They're actually revolving all the way around the centre northern hemisphere. But if you fix your camera, you're just getting a rotation because you're getting a mirror effect from in here. But you track it, you don't get this. You don't get the circle, do you? You're just tracking stars drifting like this. Okay. And they don't. And if you're to follow them, they don't actually do this. They actually go in. They'll do a cardioid, because that's representing going back into the centre of the vortex. Because this is a vortex S curve. The stars are coming out. They're going in here. But this cycle part here, where it goes right and probably quicker, is during the day. It's because that's close to the pure plasma sun. So this sun out here is actually an image of this one in here. And this one in here is fed by this one out here. It's all self-generating, no matter which way you want to look at it. Now there's something else that was quite interesting to do with the mirror effect. The mirror effect. Oh, yes. There's a video on YouTube at the moment with Richard Feynman talking about the mirror, and they're trying to make out that he discussed this all in his MIT way back in the day, and it's all BS. It's all AI generated, and he starts talking about inversions, the inversion of the mirror, why we see a reflection left to right, change left to right, but not top to bottom. And then he starts describing the whole southern hemisphere, how the stars, because these stars are mirrored from there, and I'm the only guy on this earth that was flat earther on YouTube, explaining how these stars were those stars inverted inside out. So in the north, you're looking at the stars from here, that's shot straight up into the night sky. You're seeing it there, so you're seeing it from that way down. But in the southern hemisphere, you're looking at the stars through this way, inside out, inverted. Okay? So that's how you're seeing that rotation of stars in the south, like this. And in the north, you're seeing it like this. And so it's a good analogy, like listening to him is describing it quite well. The inversion, the mirror inversion. So, and you notice how many Globetarts get on my side, and they all got frustrated because they can't debunk what I do. So now they're trying to shut my channel down. So they've frozen it. So not many people see it. So good luck to whoever gets this far. But you know, I just found that was interesting, because I did see this video once about the high pressure, the high speed, creating the low pressure in here. And this is how we get plasma, the potential difference. You've got a potential difference between here and here. There's always these potential differences going on because our whole realm is based on magnetism. And magnetism has the same thing, a north and south pole. There's a potential difference. They never taught you that at school. They said they're equal. No, there's a phi ratio between a south pole and a north pole, if you consider the cycles, magnetic cycles. So whenever you see a magnetic field line, because they're all curved, you can consider that as a cycle. One cycle going back like that. So all these magnetic field lines that coming in around the Earth for, you know, for sailing, declination. You've got to make all these adjustments if you're following a compass bearing. Well, that curve is just the positive field, you could say, this one, and in the other hemisphere, but you've got this negative system going on at the same time. So when you film this sun dilemma like this, that's only a 2D image. You're not seeing the you know, the 3D image in behind it, you know, the magnetic field. Thanks for watching. If you like this sort of thing, come visit us at Patreon here. Tomb of Illumination, or you can find it, I think it's Meta 369, or just voice it into the phone, Tomb of Illumination, or you know, mention Patreon or Lindsay Harris. I'm the only guy that's got all the physics to the Earth. I can say that for sure. Thanks for watching.